Good evening and welcome to the March 10th meeting of the Livermore City Council. I call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Barrientos. Councilmember Dunbar.
Here.
Councilmember Wong. Here. Vice Mayor Branning.
Here.
Mayor Marchand.
Here. Tonight we have a special honor. We have a Girl Scout troop number 31177. We'll be doing the flag ceremony tonight. So I would invite them to, along with Amanda Stalker, who is the senior Girl Scout, will be leading the ceremony. So please commence.
Hello, my name is Amanda Stoker. I'm a senior Girl Scout of Troop 31177. We are a multi-level troop ranging from kindergarten through high school. Thank you for having us tonight. We have been working on learning about civics and government, so this is a wonderful opportunity for us. Can everybody please stand for our flag? Color Guard advance. Color Guard, post your colors. On your flag, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated. Thank you.
I thought they were going to be here all night. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thanks from the council to the entire troop. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you for doing the flag ceremony for us. Okay, with that, we're going to move on to the next part of the agenda. We have no proclamations and presentations. Open forum. The city clerk will tell people how they can participate in the open forum.
Thank you, Mayor. The city council's agenda provides opportunities for the public to participate in the meeting by addressing the city council in the following ways. For non-agendized items, the public has the opportunity during open forum to address the city council on any item of interest that is within the city council's subject matter jurisdiction. For agendized items, the public can address the city council on each item of business it considers when the mayor opens public comment and should be focused on that particular item. Please note, a speaker is not required to answer any questions from the city council, and the city council is not required to answer questions from the public. However, the mayor has the discretion to ask staff to address a speaker's comments when a council member believes it is relevant to a particular business item. When participating in tonight's meeting, one comment may be given per person per item. For consent calendar items, one comment may be given for all items on the consent calendar. If consent calendar items are pulled for discussion by the city council, a speaker will be allowed one comment for each item pulled for discussion and a separate comment for the remaining consent calendar. To provide public comment, please fill out and turn in a speaker card found at the entrance of the council chambers. Speakers will be announced in the order received. Once public comment opens, each participant's name will be announced and their 3 minutes will begin once at the lectern. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, do we have any, I should have asked that before. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, sir, we do. We have one
Okay.
speaker. Mike R.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and everyone else here tonight. I want to thank you again for your time. I was here not too long ago and I'll be here again, but I just want to talk about some events we have at the Las Positas Veterans First program. My name is Mike and I'm a veteran and a student in engineering at Las Positas. I apologize to the council members and mayor. This is mainly for everyone behind me, so I'm going to be turning my back.
You can go ahead and speak to
slightly.
us. Yeah, and
Okay.
because speak to the council and then they'll all get that as
Okay.
well.
All right, thank you.
Certainly.
So we have a couple of really fun and interesting events coming up. One this month, the last Thursday, Honoring Women's event, the Honoring Women Veterans event. And our guest note speaker is Jennifer Volbrecht, and she's a Marine Corps veteran, a business owner. She was a combat aviator, and now she's an author as well and a mother. She's going to be our keynote speaker and a really interesting and fun individual. There's also going to be a quilt of valor ceremony there as well, which is really neat. If you haven't had the chance to see that before, I highly recommend it. We also have coming up in April, our first Veterans Annual Golf Tournament right here at Las Positas Golf Course in Livermore, which is a really fun 18-hole, nice, easy little par 3, par 4. But we're going to have a great time out there. We're going to have barbecue. We're going to have different contests going on. And what we're asking for from the community is not just to show up for your support with the veterans group, but if there's anybody out there that's in a position to offer any donations or any gifts for these kind of events, that would be greatly appreciated. On top of that, I just wanted to extend also, we as veterans in the community, we love to give back to our community as well. So not only are we asking for inclusion from our community to come show support to us, but if there's ever anything that we can do for you as well, our hearts and minds are in the city and in our community, and we're here to help out. So I just want to thank everyone for their time. And if anyone has any questions, or if anyone would like information, I have easy pamphlets and I have some contact information to hand out as well. Once again, thank you for your time, Councilman.
Thank you. And what is the dates? What's the date of the golf tournament again?
The golf tournament coming up, I apologize, is going to be April 26th, and the honoring women's event will be March 27th.
March 27th? Okay,
Yes.
and a great event, and I've attended a number of the Quilts of Valor presentations, and those are always very moving,
Yes, they are.
very
Yes, they are.
appreciative.
So thank you for your time, everybody.
And the Veterans First program at Las Positas is a great program, so thanks for being a part of that as well.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
The next speaker is Greg Scott.
Good evening. I'm Greg Scott. So what's the big news of the day today, March 10th, 2025? Is it the NASDAQ losing 4%, trillions of dollars in market capitalization? Is it the SP 500 losing trillions of dollars in market capitalization, or the Dow Jones Industrial Average losing trillions of dollars in market capitalization? No, there's actually bigger news than that. Is it the continuing tales of Donald Trump and the tariff? No, it's a serious factor, but I'm surprised more people. When I graduated from California high school, we had to take U.S. history and we had to read about the Smoot-Hawley Act of 1930, the Tariff Act, and I don't understand the ignorance on that. No, there's actually bigger news in this. We're within 100 hours ago, on Friday, March 7th, an organization in the People's Republic of China called MONICA introduced the first artificial general intelligence agent. It's called Manus after hand. It is going to have more effect on all of us, on all humans, than any other technology ever. Now, you might think I'm full of hype on that. I think if you're discounting me on that, then your knowledge of artificial intelligence is next to non-existent. And I'm not saying I'm an expert on artificial intelligence, but the capability of something like this it's immeasurable. Why this wasn't front page news on the New York Times today, I don't know. Why it wasn't front page news on the Wall Street Journal today, I don't know. But the effect of it, this is we had a moment on January 27th when we had a city council meeting, and trillions of dollars, not like today, but it was trillions of dollars were lost in the markets on that day from the announcement of a large language model in general artificial intelligence called DeepSeek R1. And this has roiled the markets because they did the training for less than $6 million, which the training on most large language models like OpenAI, it's hundreds of millions of dollars or more to do it. So it was a breakthrough, and it scared the business models of the artificial intelligence world. This Manus, this autonomous general artificial intelligence agent is an evolutionary, exponentially greater Sputnik moment than DeepSeek R1 could possibly be. It's going to affect us all. It's going to affect this government. And I understand that City of Livermore is drafting policy on artificial intelligence. I'd like to see your chapter on autonomous general artificial intelligent agents. It's going to have a huge impact on us. So I can only say that you're no longer ignorant of hearing about autonomous general artificial intelligence agents. Thank you.
That concludes public comment.
Okay, I'm going to close the open forum period. Oops, bring it back to the council. On to the second here. Moving on to the consent calendar. Is there anything that anybody wishes to pull from consent? Do we have any speakers on consent?
No public comments been received.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I apologize. Alan Marling.
Okay.
Mayor and council members, this is in regards to 5.5. The city of Livermore should not be paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to prop up a privately owned company. The Las Positas Golf Course should be responsible for these storm safety measures for their parking lot. It's not like this is a public park. I would be charged $50 to set foot on these greens. If the Las Positas Golf Course cannot afford flood protection for their own parking lot, maybe they should go out of business. Golf courses typically destroy natural habitats, removing native species that could reduce flooding. The greens steal water from the water table and require bombs of pesticides to preserve their artificial landscapes. I highly doubt golf courses are sustainable in the 21st century, but if they are, it should be through the love, dedication, and deep pockets of golfers, not on the public's dime. And this $100,000 is only an initial payment. The report states the total is likely to be $680,000 with $1 million for the Second Amendment. Now, there are many worthwhile things the government could be spending money on. I would not recommend wasting it to trying to save businesses from going underwater when they're the ones responsible for making people vulnerable to floods in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes public comment.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to close the public comment period on the consent calendar. Couple of items that 5.1, there's no, I'm not going to pull it for discussion, but 5.1 in the minutes, it said that it indicated apparently only one council member attended the employee service awards, and I believe that most of us attended. It's just to clarify that that most of the council members were in attendance at that. And 5.6, the acquisition of the Gherkin property. Open space is very important to this community and also to the council. And this acquisition is a little bit easier because it's only the Altamont Fund. It's funds. It's not the Doherty Valley Settlement Funds. So we don't have to consult with any other agency. But in these council chambers, the representatives from the Citizens for Balanced Growth came out against the acquisition of open space. And this council is committed to open space and to preserve that open space in perpetuity. So this is a lot easier because we don't have to deal with another organization. But I'd like to say that I fully support this, as do the rest of the members of the council. So we do preserve open space, and we are committed to acquire additional open space to protect the urban growth boundary that we have around us. So with that, if there's no other comment, I'll accept a motion. Everybody step in at once. Okay, motion made by Councilmember Barrientos. Second by Vice Mayor Branning. Any discussion on the motion?
Just a quick note on the golf course. The other thing that's going along with the golf course is the repair of consideration of a full span bridge. And I talked with staff a little bit about that. So there are other benefits beyond just to the golf course that may improve trail crossings and merging for cars in that area next to the bridge. So we're looking at improvements beyond just the golf course.
Well, also the other thing is that, as I recall, we own the golf course.
That's also being
Another detail,
but
yeah.
just want to note that.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? It passed unanimously. Moving on to 6.1, which is the parcel number 904-0010. This is SMP 40.
Honorable Mayor Marchand and members of the City Council, this is your City Manager, Mariana Birch. Item 6.1 is going to be presented by Debbie Salgado, Senior Civil Engineer in the Community Development Department. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Excuse me. Tonight, we are conducting a public hearing to consider adding a parcel to the annexation boundary of citywide CFD 2021-1. First, a little bit about CFDs. A CFD is a funding mechanism created to fund maintenance of public facilities for residential or commercial projects. Property owners within the district are assessed a certain amount each year to maintain specific improvements installed with the project. CFDs are used instead of landscape maintenance districts because CFDs provide a greater variety of items that can be maintained, such as trails, drainage facilities, and other public amenities. Formation of a new CFD is a long process and takes 3 council meetings to complete. In July of 2021, CFD 2021-1 was formed citywide to provide a way for new development to fund the maintenance of public amenities. The CFD was created with a streamlined process built in to annex a new project into the district that only takes 1 council meeting to achieve. At the time of formation, the CFD boundary was set to coincide with city limits. The item tonight is the beginning of a 2-step process. The first is to expand the boundary of the CFD to include the subject parcel following a public hearing. The second is to annex the project into the CFD as a consent calendar item at a future council meeting. The parcel that is proposed to be added to the CFD area is the SMP 40 parcel. This parcel involves a project located at the southern end of the Oaks Business Park on Atlantis Court and Challenger Court. It was entitled in March of 2020 to construct 2 industrial buildings and a public trail, and was located outside city limits at that time. When approved, the project was conditioned to annex into city limits and then to this CFD in order to be able to provide funds to maintain a public trail. The SMP 40 parcel was annexed into city limits in August of 2024, so it can now be added to the boundary of this CFD. This map shows the SMP 40 parcel to be added to the CFD boundary. As you can see, is located just south of the Oaks Business Park. Tonight, staff recommends the City Council conduct a public hearing, consider written and oral protest, and adopt a resolution adding the SMP parcel to the boundary of CFD 2021-1. This concludes staff presentation, and we're available for questions.
Do we have any public comment?
No, sir, we don't. And we also have not received any written protests.
Okay, with that, I'm going to close the public comment period. I understand that one of our council members has a comment.
Yes, that would be me. As I have remarked before when looking at the development proposed here originally, I just note that I work at Gillig, which is just over 1,000 feet from the property line here, it looks like. I am not an officer of Gillig. I do not have financial benefit or information about the real estate holdings of Gillig, and I believe I can remain impartial for the purposes of this hearing.
Okay, thank you for that. Is there any discussion, any questions from the council? Okay, with that, I'd be willing to entertain a motion.
I'd move approval of the staff recommendation.
Well, we moved by Councilmember Dunbar. Seconded by Councilmember Barrientos. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to 7, there are no matters of consideration. And all of a sudden, we're at committee reports and matters initiated. We'll start at the opposite end this time. Councilmember Barrientos, we got your report out. Is there anything that you wanted to highlight?
Well, I know most of you know I coach a wrestling team. We went down to state championships, so I was gone for 5 days with 6 boys. It's interesting, it's tough car going down there and back, 6 hours or 5 hours each way, and watching them. Anybody seen the state championships in California? It's one of the toughest tournaments in the country. So when I go down there, the kids ask me, why do I watch like this? Because I know what's going to happen. So it was quick, but they enjoyed it. It was a good trip for them. And that was my 4 or 5 days down there. Stop Wastes. And this weekend will be busy with Stop Waste and Ava, but they keep changing the meeting dates on me. You can't get the cats herded together on which day we should meet. So that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Dunbar.
Not too much to report since our interviews last week.
All right. Councilmember Wong.
Well, while Councilmember Barrientos was with his wrestling team, I had the opportunity to attend a Stop Waste board meeting. So that was very interesting. It was my first time. And at both that meeting and also the LAFTA board meeting and a committee meeting we had for LAFTA, a lot of the talk was about federal and state legislative issues. There's a lot happening, seems to be changing every day, especially on the funding, in the funding area. Everyone's sort of trying to figure out what's coming down the pike. What should we be preparing for? So that's what was going on at a lot of the meetings I attended, and I attended additional virtual meetings, and actually some also in person with our elected officials at the state level, to try to give us some idea of what to expect. At the Stop Waste meeting, we also talked about the effort, the grant that we received to transition school districts to from single use to reusable foodware. So that's continuing to happen. And then we all attended the Planning Commission interviews, which is great. And we selected 2 really fantastic new commissioners.
Well, thank you. Vice Mayor Brennan.
All right, thank you very much. So I have no matters initiated today, and was a busy couple of weeks, went to a number of really fun and interesting events. But what I'd like to talk about with the audience watching today is really to encourage people and staff, for that matter. We are in spring planting season. It is time to start your gardens. And one of the things I would encourage everyone to consider while they're starting their gardens is focusing on edible plants or local pollinators. So there's a number of plants. There's a huge variety you can choose from that will really encourage the local pollinators. Not just bees, we have a whole variety. And so when you bring in non-native plants, it can sometimes disrupt the ecosystem slightly. While it's not, the end of the world or anything, we do have a real robust world of different pollinators. And I encourage you all to really think about that while you're planting your gardens, really consider that while you're starting to plan for them and start your seeds. So thank you.
Very good. And of course, Fertile Groundworks has their program where you can buy the plants for your garden, for the edibles.
Coming up in a couple of weeks. I don't have the
Yep.
date, but it's very soon.
I got my order in. And also, speaking of the pollinators, we're working with the group to provide plantings for monarch butterflies. That's an initiative we've just started. And a couple other things. I was there to kick off the half marathon, one of the Livermore Downtown Inc. Programs. I did not run, but there were 3,000 people that did. And they came from over 30 states and as far away as the United Kingdom and Germany, because they recognize that ours is one of the most beautiful courses in the entire Bay Area. So people come from around the world to run our half marathon. And as Councilmember Wong mentioned, we had the Planning Commission interviews. We have two excellent appointees, Charity Steele, and who's a member of Livermore Downtown Inc., and a very familiar face in the community, Nadine Horner, who was the face of Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory for a number of years. Now she's our new planning commissioner. So welcome to both of them. There being no further business coming before the city, meeting's adjourned.